Okay, so I'm recording now. Today is lesson 1.2. What we are going to work on today, boys and girls, is order of operations. Now, I know part of this is review for you, so it should be a fairly easy lesson. Today, I'm really going to show you how we show our work in our thought process so we don't make any little mistakes. Like always, I said we would talk about our target goal. So today, our learning goal is I will write and evaluate numerical expressions using the order of operations. Okay, we always said, what does that mean? Because I don't like the wording. Mainly what we are looking for here today is if I give you something like this, a numerical expression. An expression is like if I would smile at you, you'd be like, ooh, there's his expression. And you think, hey, he's happy, he's in a good mood, he's pleased with me, something like that. You think you know it, but you don't have the full answer yet. It's not like I smile and say, I'm in a good mood. So a numerical expression is, it gives part of the picture, but not the answer. And numerical means it only uses numbers. In 8th grade, we start working with algebraic expressions. They involve variables. Okay? Numerical expression is just like a number. 2 plus 3 equals 1. That's a numerical expression. Okay? And we're going to use order of operations. So today's goal is that I can write any problem up here, and you can use order of operations to solve it. The way we're going to check ourselves, you're going to do this one right now. You're going to tell me, why do we even need order of operations? We're going to find out why. The second one is going to be evaluated. It's going to be, hey, we're going to practice the steps. We're going to learn the steps, and if you can do it, you have that one down. The last one we probably won't get to as much today, and it's just about real-life problems. All right, so you guys should open up your workbook. You're on 1.2. This is going to be our exploration. Does anyone remember what we do during exploration? Tristan? Yeah, you're going to stay at your table groups. This is the time I want you to turn and talk. Remember, we don't want to turn and talk about other things. We want to focus on only the math and what we're doing. So, pay close attention. I'm going to change the expectations, the instructions just a little. With your group, I want you guys to solve these together and check them with each other. On A, it says 3 plus 2 times 2, and there's another 3 plus 2 times 2. I want you to solve this one, and it says to add first, then multiply. So do that on this one. Over here, they want you to multiply, then add. Then you're going to go to B, and then C, and D. After you finish and you get both answers, I want your group to discuss which one you think is correct. And circle the one you think is correct. We'll come back in just a few minutes. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. We'll come back in a few minutes to talk. Okay? All right. Turn and work. All right, so like I just said, Shay, Cy, and Tristan, gave you the link spots. They did a great job working as a table group. I heard them talking the whole time. They were focused on their math. They were doing their questions together and then double checking and sharing their thoughts. That's what we are looking for here. All right, so I'm going to help do this first one. We're going to talk about it then. So it said add then multiply. So I would have said 5 times 2. Did you get 10? Okay, second one, multiply then add. So 4, did you get 7? All right, I'm only going to go through B, and then we're going to do a further discussion. Subtract first, I got 15 times 3, which is 45. Multiply first, I would have got 9. And I would have got 9. Okay, is that what you two got? What you got on those two? Alright, so let's discuss this real quick. I'm going to try zooming in. Which one on A do you think is the correct answer? Is the answer 10 or 7? Correct answer is 7. How about on B? Is it 45 or is it 9? Cohen?
It's 9.
It's also 9. What I want you to do is we're going to take a quick 30 seconds. I want you to turn and talk with the neighbor next to you. Why does it matter the order of operations? How did you know which one's the correct answer? So thinking, why do we even have order of operations? What's it matter? 30 seconds, turn and talk.
Like they told us to
Add to 10. Give me 10 addition. So you would say, what did I have up? Good, 2 plus 8 is 10. So she had up 8, that's what everyone should add up. Alright. So why does it matter? Was order of operations just what some teachers were sitting around and like, how else can we make the students' lives miserable? Let's make them shit in a certain order, walk in the hallways, and let's make them do math a certain way. Bruh. No. That would be kind of fun to do, though. Yeah. If we didn't have a set rule of order of operation, math would be chaos. Everyone would be getting different answers because they just start randomly doing whatever they want, and it doesn't fit the situation. My great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, if he did this problem in the 1700s, he would solve it the exact same way we do today. Math does not change those rules. Okay? Okay, at the end of today's class, the bonus that we're going to do before we start our homework, I'm going to show you why you guys are smarter than most people, especially people on Facebook. I'm going to give you a 4-digit order of operation problem I shared with the other classes that was recently on Facebook. It's on the Facebook craze. One of my friends shared. My wife told me I was not allowed to make comments on it because I was like, I hate when people are being dumb. It's an easy problem. Adults were arguing what the answer should be. It was between 2 answers. They argued what the answer should be. My one friend that posted it, she was a teacher. And she made a comment. It drives me nuts. I'm so mad with her. Because she kind of always thinks she knows everything. And she's like, oh, yeah. Well, I think the answer is this, but I'm not sure. But I think there's an argument for either one. No. I was like, no. My wife's like, I was like, no. There's no argument. That was one of the dumber comments. There's no argument for the other answer. You follow the rules and there's one answer. Well, but I thought if you do with parentheses. No. I'm happy you feel like you want to do that. But today we're going to learn these rules. And every class that's done it has got the right answer. And I'm like, what's hard about that? I'm like, thank you. So that's going to be our goal, to outsmart Facebook. And then my computer started messing up. And then one person was like, oh, Mark Zuckerberg heard you. He's messing with your computer. He teamed up with Microsoft. It's like, oh, God. All right. So we're going to work on order of operations. What I'd like you guys to do now, just close your workbooks, put them to the side, and get out the notes that I gave you. We are going to start working on those. Liza, did I give you notes? Don't lie to me, Liza. We'll do them at the end. Put them to the side. Alright, so, in our notes, here's what we're going to start with. First thing, I want you guys to write down, right here on the notes, I want you to write down PEMDAS. And to the side, Gemma.
I opened my binder.
Alright, you can clean up so you can keep going. Alright, so PEMDAS. How many people know what PEMDAS is? How many people use Gemma? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never used Gemma. I know what it is. I just never use it. I use PEMDAS. But this is why you're going to see why it doesn't matter. The most important thing with PEMDAS or Gemma is we must work left to right in our equation. That's the most important thing. We work left to right. Now, with PEMDAS, does anyone know what the P stands for? Tristan?
Parentheses.
What's the E stand for? What's the... Now, I underline the M and D and make an arrow. Left to right. Multiplication or division. I draw the line underneath both of them because it does not matter. We have to make sure we don't get this confused. It does not go multiplication and then division. It's I go through my equation left to right, and if I find the multiplication or division, I do it first. And then what does the AS stand for? Go ahead and say it out loud.
Addition, subtraction.
Alright, good. So that's the one I know. That's the one I use. Well, let's go to Gemma. What's the G stand for? Grouping, which are pretty much parentheses. What's the E stand for? Exponents. The N, you work left to right. What's it stand for? Huh? Or? And what does the A stand for? Doesn't matter. Is there any real difference? No, look at the symbols we wrote underneath. They're exact same. It's just an acronym, a way to remember that. You'll find that you can use different acronyms for a lot of things. It's just what sticks in your head the easiest. When we would do this, I'd have students made up things all the time. When we did, let's see, what was the one like? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is what we use PEMDAS for, the phrase. A couple of my students was like, please everyone, Mr. Dobby asks snakes. They're like, oh, I'm going to use that one. That was funny. Okay, if I ask you what your phrase is tomorrow, you're going to remember it? Oh, well, then you don't use it. You use an acronym in your phrases, something that's clever, something witty, something that you remember, sticks in your head. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, stuck in my head for years. It's just something that I'm going to remember. Does it mean that's the only thing to use? No. So you use what you are comfortable with. Now, I am going to show you how I made some of my students. You don't have to do this unless you are having trouble with order of operations. But when I taught 4th grade, they were nailing order of operations. The only difference was they didn't have exponents they used. But anyone that was struggling did this method. So if you want to do this with me, do this. To the side, I wrote down PEMDAS. Now remember, this is the teacher one. I'm going to do 2 examples, and then you guys are going to work on it. So I wrote down PEMDAS, and what I did was I first looked at my problem, 12 minus 2 times 4. Are there any parentheses?
No.
Okay, so I crossed that off. Are there any exponents?
No.
No. Okay, multiplication, left to right. So I looked here. There's a subtraction. There's multiplication. So I made a little funnel. We want to make a funnel because a funnel is big at the top and it goes small down to the bottom. It takes big things and it can combine them down to 1. So I'm going to take 2 times 4 and funnel it down to 1 number. Well, instead of saying 2 times 4, we would say what? Yeah, we just do it. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? I'm going to rewrite my problem now. And remember how I told you mathematicians, we like to make things smaller and easier? So instead of writing 2 times 2 times 2, we said 2 to the third power. Well, that's what we're doing with order of operations.
I'm like, way too many problems up there. Let's simplify it.
So instead of saying 12 minus 2 times 4, I could have just said 12 minus 8. I'd get the same answer. Well, I'm going to look at this and can I simplify it more? Is there any other multiplication or division? No. And because there's not, I'm going to cross those off. Is there any addition and subtraction? Yeah, there's only one. 12 minus 8 can simplify to the number 4. And there's my answer. To be honest, order of operations is really easy because when I first look at some problems, especially the next one, you're like, holy cow, I'm intimidated. That's big. But really, order of operations, we do simple problems and we did 1, 2 problems. It's like instead of one question, Mr. Sissel said, hey, for your homework, I need you to answer what's 2 times 4 and what's 12 minus 8. You'd be like, that's my homework. Mm-hmm. Dude, I got that. That's all we did with order of operations. I give you this next one. It looks big and intimidating. So we're first going to start with our PEMDAS. My very first thing is parentheses. Parentheses stand for grouping. Is there anything being grouped together? Yes. So what I'm going to do, if this works, there we go, is I'm going to highlight, look, there's brackets. So I highlighted that. That means I'm not even paying attention to 60 divided by. That's on the outside. I don't even care about that right now. I'm pretending the only problem you wrote down was parentheses. 4 plus 2 parentheses times 5. Okay, so I looked at parentheses. I'm going to look again. Inside my grouping, are there other grouping symbols? Yes. Oh, so we got a group inside of a group. So I look inside those parentheses. So now I don't care about anything else in the equation. The only thing I'm looking at is 4 plus 2. Now, looking at 4 plus 2, are there any parentheses in there? No. Are there any exponents in there? No. Is there any multiplication or division? Is there any addition or subtraction? Okay, so I'm going to go from my parentheses. I like to draw all my parentheses thing. Whoa, 4 plus 2 is 6. Now here's the big question. 4 plus 2 was in parentheses. Do I need to write the parentheses anymore? No, I don't have to. No, just those. I'll have to do the brackets. But just on parentheses 4 plus 2, do I need those parentheses anymore? No, because I simplified it down to one number. That's where Facebook got confused. I could leave them, but all that means is, instead of saying, hey, I have the number 6, you're like, I get the number 6. Okay, good, calm down, Turbo. So, instead of parentheses 4 plus 2, I'm just going to say 6. I rewrite my problem. 60 divided by, I still need my brackets because there's an equation in there. 4 plus 2 is 6, bless you, times 5. Alright, I'm going to come back to here. Does that cross anything off? Are there any parentheses or grouping? Right there. We have brackets. So that means I'm going to start there. What? Do I have any exponents inside there? Any multiplication, division? So I'm going to set right on the corners of my brackets to show that I'm getting rid of it. And 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, when I rewrite my equation, 60 comes down. Do I need my brackets anymore? No. I may get rid of brackets and parentheses when you break it down to one number. So I'm left with 60 divided by 30. Okay, rewrote the equation again. Are there any parentheses? No. Are there any exponents?
No.
Is there any multiplication or division?
Yes.
Ooh, there is one. What is 60 divided by 30? Grace? In mid-yum, she even pulled it out. It's 2. There you go, making think about it. It's 2. And I'm done. Now, let's look at this problem one more time. 60 divided by brackets, parentheses, 4 plus 2, parentheses times 5, brackets. Promise you, when you look at that, you should be like, oh, boy. But let's break it down. What did we really do? I asked you 4 questions. What's 4 plus 2?
6.
What's 6 times 5?
30.
And what's 60 divided by 30?
2.
Oh, I already asked you 3 questions. Were any one of those questions hard?
No.
We made a difficult equation simple because we use order of operations. We broke it down to each one. This is the work I want to see today on your paper. I do not want you just to write an answer. I don't want you doing things mental. I should see you use 1, 2, 3, 4 lines on your paper. I want to see the progression going down. If you don't want to write the funnel part, I had one student yesterday didn't do the funnel. She just kind of moved everything over and wrote right underneath it so it always lined up where she did work. That's okay. Use what's there, but I need to see each step. Okay, real quick, let's take a few minutes. I want you to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. Check with your table group. If you have questions, may you ask a partner for help?
Yes.
Absolutely. You can ask me for help. I want you to do them. When you get it done, check. When your table group's done, raise your hand. Real quick, I'm going to pop up here. Select all my students. Ooh, who's gone though? Trevor. Sorry, but you can't everyone. Yeah, I'm going to give everyone a point because you guys actually just worked really well. And I came around and checked with you guys really respectful. I like how you're working. Let's go through this quick. Remember, now it's you going to show me. So, who can tell me, how do I solve number 1? It says 7 times 5 plus 3. What is the steps I will take? I'm going to write what you tell me. Shay, what do you got for me, bud?
First you do 7 times 5.
Okay, that's 35.
And then you bring down the 3 and add it to 35.
And you should get the answer 38. Awesome. Great job. Let's give Shay 2 claps and a Ric Flair. You guys remember Ric Flair?
Yes.
Alright, 2 claps and a Ric Flair. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was so weak. Okay, let's see if we can do better on the next one. Who can do number 2? Parentheses 28 minus 20, parentheses divided by 4. Grace, what do you got for me?
So 28 minus 20.
Good. Well, that's subtraction. Why am I going to do my subtraction before my division?
Because it's in
Awesome. Parentheses dictated. Good. 28 minus 20 is 8. Alright, good job. Let's see if we can give Grace a better Ric Flair than we did for Shay. Because we like Grace better, right? Oh, Shay's like, what? You said he's already throw his textbook at me. Calm down, Shay. Alright, let's give her a good Ric Flair. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was better. Alright, number 3. This is the hardest one out of the 3. Alright, what you got for me, hon?
So I'm going to start by doing the parentheses, 15 minus 10.
Good. Parentheses inside the bracket, so we zero in.
Which is going to do 5. And then you're going to bring the whole equation down. But you're going to keep the brackets there. But
Perfect.
add parentheses. Then you're going to do 6 plus 5, which is 11. And then you're going to bring the equation down. And then 11 times 5 is 55.
Good. I about wrote plus there. It is 55. Very good. Okay, let's give her 2 claps and a Hulk Hogan. You guys remember Hulk Hogan? Good job, brother. Alright, 2 claps and a Hulk Hogan. 1, 2, 3.
Good job, brother.
Alright, second example. So I went around when you guys were working. Everyone told me they felt really good with the first example. So second example is going to go really quick as well. What's the only thing you see different? Sai, what do you see different? Nothing's going to change. I'm just going to show you how I would show my work with an exponent. So this one should go really quick. First thing, are there parentheses? Yeah. So I'm going to focus on my parentheses. Okay. Inside my parentheses, I got to start again. Are there parentheses inside my parentheses?
Yes.
No. Is there an exponent? Okay, so this is how I show my exponent. I go to that one, and I make a funnel for 2 to the third. I like to show all my work because I'm that guy, and I hope you learn to do that. Because when you show your work, even with something you think's easy, you tend not to make mistakes then. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times the 2 is 8. So 2 to the third becomes 8. And then rewrite my problem. 30 divided by parentheses. Why do I need my parentheses still? Why did I still have to put them? Last time I went in parentheses, I was able to delete them. Why did I not get rid of them this time?
Because you didn't actually solve it. You just solved the exponent.
Perfect. Great example. Great answer. I didn't solve the parentheses. I only solved one part of it. Okay? So I solved the problem. I'm going to come back in. Okay. Parentheses. Do I have them? Oh, geez, I still have parentheses. Okay? Do I have an exponent in there? Is there multiplication or division? Is there addition or subtraction?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to say 7 plus 8 is 15. Do I need my parentheses now? No. Okay, now I have the equation 30 divided by 15 times 6. Do I have parentheses? Do I have exponents? Do I have any multiplication or division? Which one am I going to do first? 30 divided by 15? Or do I do 15 times 6? Grayson, what you got?
You do 30 divided by 15.
I don't believe you. Why do you think you do that? Okay, I believe you now. So, I work left to right. Like Grayson said, it came first from the left side on. 30 divided by 15 is 2. I come back up here. Okay, do I have any multiplication division? Yeah. 2 times 6 is 12. And there's my answer. Once again, big hard equation. We made it into 1, 2, 3, 4 problems. What's 2 to the third? What's 7 plus 8? What's 30 divided by 15? And what's 2 times 6? All of those really, really easy questions, right? It's just using order of operations. So, we'll do the same thing. Let's do just number 4 and 6. Okay? 4 and 6, and then I just have 2 examples to show you, and we'll start your homework. I'm going to pause our video quick. Alright, so let's go over these 2 problems, and then I got 2 other examples just to show you. We're not going to really work them, but just so you are aware of what they are. Who can do number 4 for me? 6 plus 2 to the 4th minus 1. Alright, Sai.
So I see an exponent, and it's just like the one that we did.
Whoa.
And
What just happened to my board?
You're getting added again. Friend works for me.
I know.
Back for you.
That was. Oh, he's. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
so I saw that the exponent was kind of like the one at the top.
Uh-huh.
So I just added to the one on the top and another times 2.
Oh, I get what you're saying. 2 to the 4th, before we had 2 to the 3rd, we said it was 8. So 2 to the 4th is just times another 2.
Yeah.
That's a really awesome strategy.
Your answer is 16, and you bring everything else down, and then you add 6 plus 16, and you get 22. And then you subtract 1 from 22, and that's 20.
Dude, I really, really love your strategy because you're doing something a lot of students I've been trying to get us to do, but they're not aware of. Using the test or using the worksheet to help you. A lot of times, if you already start working one problem, just like 2 to the third, I don't have to redo that work. 2 to the third is 8. So 2 to the fourth has to be 8 times 2. Very smart. You pay attention to your tests, a lot of times they give you answers. Awesome. Let's give him 2 claps and a fairy godmother. Fairy godmother goes, 1, 2, 3. Good. I like that one. Number 6. Who have I heard from? Someone. Okay. Okay, so I do my exponent, which is going to be what? Careful. What does 5 to the second power mean? Okay. And what is 5 times 5? 25. Okay, so even though you missed this, you can keep working with us, right? So we rewrite our problem. We still have our parentheses. Alright, what would I do next? Okay, 25 minus 7 is 18. Do I need my parentheses anymore? Good. So I'm going to write my problem back out. 16 plus 18 divided by 3. Alright, what's next? 18 divided by 3 is 6. So I have 16 plus 6. What's my last step to do? Which is? Perfect. Let's give him 2 claps at cowboy. He goes, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
Good. Alright. Here's the last thing. I gotta see if my computer. What's going on with my computer right
He's
now?
coming back.
I know. Okay, last 2. We're not really gonna work the whole problem. I'm just gonna show you how to set up, and then I'll trust you follow the steps. 9 plus 8 minus 2 all over 3. Okay, it looks kind of tricky, right? It's not. When we do a fraction, like 1 over 2, did you know fractions actually represent division? Now, how many of you had Miss Nordwall yesterday? Yeah, because I was in a room and I saw her doing something where she was trying to show you how to find your percent. And remember when you did that, you did a fraction. Like today's homework is out of 17 questions, let's say you got 14 of them right. You found your percent because you did 14 divided by 17, right? Well, that's what a fraction represents. The numerator being divided by our denominator. So the first thing when we evaluate this equation, to be 100% honest with you, I would just do 8 minus 2 is 6, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2, and we do that. That's the goal here is how to write it different. They want you to write it. So I'm going to write out the 8 minus 2. So I'm going to take this part first, and I'm going to write out 8 minus 2. And I have to do that first, right? So how do I make sure I do that together? How do I make sure I do 8 minus 2? Tristan?
You just always, if there is a fraction, you always have to do the top.
I know, but if I'm writing this out, and I'm writing an equation out, how do I make sure I do 8 minus 2? And I don't do like 2 times 8 minus 2. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down our numerator, and we're going to put parentheses around it if it's an equation. Okay? But now we got to put the denominator with it. And the denominator means we divide. So I'm going to say whatever 8 minus 2 is, I have to divide it by 3. But that's a fraction, right? How do I make sure that stays together? Side?
Put that in brackets.
We have to put that in brackets. Because now if I was to solve this, because of the brackets and parentheses, I would first do 8 minus 2, which is my numerator. I'd get an answer, and then I would divide it by my denominator. That would give me my answer to my fraction. The 9 plus It just goes on the outside. This is how you take the fraction and write it as a numerical expression. Kind of tricky, right? You don't have that on your homework. But we're introducing it to you. Last one. This one's important. This is going to be the trickster for the Facebook. Let's solve this one. 10 minus 8 parentheses 13 plus 7 divided by 4 squared. What's the first step I should do?
13 plus 7.
Awesome. 13 plus 7 is 20. Do I need my parentheses anymore?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to rewrite my equation. 10 minus 8. Huh. There's no parentheses. And in my equation, it said 10 minus 8 parentheses. So when I get rid of my... So is it 10 minus 820 now?
No.
What's this mean?
Just space it out a little bit.
Okay, well, I can space it out a little bit. That's fine. Let's do that real fast. And then I still got to finish my equation. But hold on. Is it two equations? Is it 10 minus 8 is one answer and 20 divided by 4 squared is the other answer?
Doesn't like when you put two numbers very close to each other, doesn't that mean times?
Very good. If you ever take a number or a variable and you put it right outside parentheses and there's no sign, remember I told you mathematicians, we don't like doing a lot of writing, we take shortcuts. Well, instead of writing that multiplication sign, if I put this 8 right next to this, it means distributed. It means I'm going to be multiplying. So I can just go ahead and I can say multiply. That's going to be important. Okay? We're going to stop our notes there. We're not going to finish this problem. What I need you to do is we're going to start our homework here in a second. Ooh, you guys have about 25 minutes. 26. So, I'm going to show you how to set up our homework. I believe Brayson gave everyone a blank piece of paper. Say, thank you, Brayson.
Thank you,
And Brayson, you say welcome to each and every one of them. No, I'm just joking. Okay, what's the first thing I do on my paper?
Make sure the holes are in the left.
Yes. Holes on the left. Red line on the left. Margins at the top. What do I have to be using? Can you guys use a pen? This is homework. Use a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, I got a lot in the lost and found. I love walking the hallways at the end of the day. I pick up like 5 every day. Okay. I put my name. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, one student wrote down Ross. I go, what did you do? You said right. Oh yeah, that's my name, isn't it? Oh! I don't need identity theft. All right. Second line. We're going to put down today's date. And then we're going to put down on the third line the homework. If you guys want to do a fourth line, I forget who came up with that idea. Why don't you put one S on the fourth line, which stands for First Block Silver Day. Whoever came up with that's a genius. I wish it was me because I am a genius and good looking, but hey, I heard some chuckles out of there. You guys don't be arguing with your teacher. Alright, here's what I need you to do. We are going to do one example together, and I got to write down what the problem was again. I have to look it up. I actually threw my paper away. There it is. Okay. So go ahead and write EX on the left side because that's your example. And I'm going to show you how I want to see your work today. I need to see all your work. Today, I told you, lesson 1, if you didn't turn your paper in, I'm not taking it off for it. For today's assignment, if you do not turn in your paper, the best score you can get is a 2 out of 3. That's a 66%. You can do better than that. Okay? So, here's how you're going to do it. We're going to write out the problem. 6 divided by 2, parentheses, 1 plus 2. Yeah, it looks simple, doesn't it? This is the one grown-ups were arguing a lot about on Facebook. Like, arguing. And it was hilarious, which made me mad. It was hilarious because people were calling each other names. And they're like, oh my gosh, if you don't know how to do this, you're an idiot. The answer's... I was like, that answer's wrong. I swear to you, I'm not even making up. If they used appropriate language all the time, I'd pull it up and show it to you. But a couple people might have used a couple bad words. But it was so funny how many people argue. And how many people go, we're unsure of themselves. Even the people that had the answer right go, well, I think it's here, but they're so timid about it. Be strong in yourself. Believe in yourself. If you know the rules of math, nothing should question it. So, let's see if you guys can do it. What should I do first? Oh, I got some people that are like, I'm smarter than my mom. All right, what do you think?
Do the parentheses.
Yeah, parentheses first. Now, me, I write big, and my handwriting's not real pretty. So when I show my steps, I always use one line to show my funnel. Some of you, your handwriting's a lot smaller and prettier, and you just do line by line. That's okay. But 1 plus 2 is 3. Do I need my parentheses? What? No. So 6 divided by 2. And what do I put in between the two? Times. Okay. What is next? Tristan?
6 divided by 2.
Which is?
3.
Okay.
3.
And the last side?
You do 3 times 3 and it's 9. I don't know what's hard about this problem.
That is the correct answer.
Is it just adults these days or what?
I'm gonna show
Here-
my mom this and then I'm gonna tell you
I know.
tomorrow.
I know. Write this problem down when you show it to them. See if they can get it. Here's what most of the parents are doing. I'm going to cross this off in a second. You don't have to copy this down. But, and this is even where my friend who was a teacher made an argument. So they did 1 plus 2 is 3. And they kept it in parentheses.
What? No.
And then they said,
What?
because it's in parentheses, and my friend that was a teacher goes, oh, well, you can make an argument when do parentheses end. Since the 3's in parentheses, they then did 2 times 3 is 6.
Wait.
And 6 divided by 6 is 1. Now, the biggest thing is, I sort of understand where they're coming from because they're like, ooh, parentheses. And they all said, the geek people got it wrong. We're like, PEMDAS. It's parentheses first. Is there an equation inside the parentheses? No! Parentheses just say do this equation first. If it's just a number, there's nothing to do to it. Then you move to exponents. Then you move to multiplication left and right. They did this now. Even the people that are like, well, I don't get today's math. This is yesterday's math. This is, my grandpa would have done this a long time ago. All you have to do, and this is why we eliminate the parentheses. If I get a number down in the parentheses to just one number, eliminate the parentheses. Grace, I expect you to give this to your dad and see if he gets it right. And if he gets it wrong, you've got to come to school, and I'm going to send a video to him, and I'm going to make fun of him, and then he's going to fire me, and then bad things. So, I would actually go ahead, copy this one down, give this to your parents tonight, see what they can do. Okay, last thing before you get started. Your homework is on big ideas. Okay? So, we have time. We have like 20 minutes to work. I want you guys to get started. I'll come around. I'll help you. There is one question that's tricky. I think it's number 17. Workbooks go back into the silver basket. Real quick. Homework. Since we do not have school Monday, and I see you every other day, this assignment is due Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. Once it's after that, it moves it in big ideas to your overdue, and you get late work for it. I'll still give you full credit for your answers. I'll give you 3 out of 3, but it counts against you on what we're tracking for late work.
We put this in the bin. Say that one.
Yeah.
That's third grade.